Good evening, everybody. I'm Ronan and Chain, and welcome to another stream where we're talking about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm your host, and before we get started, um, because this does echo a little bit of some personal stuff, so I just want to give. Without again, I don't want to give too much details, but it was a little bit of a rough week this weekend, and I just want to give a moment of silence for just a few seconds. Thank you all. And before we get started, as I've been saying every week, chinga la migra, fuck guys, free Palestine. Um, this is just my views, my thoughts, and yeah, fuck that. We're not putting up. At least I'm not putting up any BS. Much like Sir Duncan the Tall. No, honor. But if you have not seen the episode, please go watch the episode. I encourage everybody. We are going to be talking spoilers. Um, and I'm very interested to see how my friends think about it because, again, I've seen this for a while and I was just like, ooh, these past 2 weeks have been phenomenal episodes of television, but this one is going to feel the most violent, brutal, action, Game of Thrones esque episodes. So I'm very curious to see how they feel about it. But Brent, how you doing, Brent?
Good. I got to catch episode 5 last night when it dropped, and
Nice.
it was something, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked about it because again we were filming something and then something dropped. The episode dropped. So you watched. We're at the penultimate episode of the season.
Yes, correct.
The last episode.
Which, by the way, that's always usually in the Game of Thrones universe when the biggest moment happens, and then you deal with the fallout in the season finale usually. So yeah.
So Brent, you've watched it. How do you feel about it?
It was really good. I don't know if it necessarily surprised me as much as the last two episodes 3 and 4 did, because there were two moments in those two episodes that really kind of like took me by pure awe of like, just a moment kind of thing. Although this did end in a quite insane kind of way, kind of aspect of it. I thought that it's up there with some of the best fighting sequences and camera sequences that they've ever done in any of the Game of Thrones battles. I mean, you see a lot of single point of view through the eye of the through the characters, through their through Dunk's slit in his eyes and stuff like that. So you really get that claustrophobic feel of what it's like to really wear that armor. But they did it so well, including the sound design, which you blocked out the hearing and you kind of heard that muffled hearing. When the battle started, there was not a single piece of music through it. The first piece of music came after Egg called out to Dunk to get up when he had that revelation, from what's his name?
Alan?
Alan, yes. Aaron? Yeah, Aaron, yeah. Pennywise. Penny Tree, my bad, wrong Penny. Sorry, I'm tired. I had a long day of work, so my brain's just catching up. Anyway, yeah, there was that moment there where they brought in the music for the first time, which was really quite a powerful moment too. And I absolutely love the flashbacks. I love the fact that this far into the show, they can still do a flashback and have it have great meaning to the moment and the situation that's currently going on to who they were, where this person came from, where Dunk, where Dunk came from, and where his life, changed from all that. So yeah, it was a solid episode, really good.
Yeah, man, this was visually brutal.
Yeah.
Character wise brutal.
Yeah.
But yet beautiful. It was beautiful and brutal at the same time.
Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the actual sword play that was going on, because that was violent as hell.
And
Okay.
again, we have a couple comments now that Teague O'Neill says that the cinematography and sound design for the trial of Sin reminded me of the opening of Saving Private Ryan. Also, even though Baylor charged in to serve as Dunk's seventh while using his son Valar's armor. Yeah, it doesn't change the fact that the maces were designed to punch armor inwards, or an opponent of the Clancy strike by Makar didn't kill it with. It would have crippled him. During the whole Arian versus Dunk fight, I had a big grin on my face as it was like watching Apollo Creed Rocky Balboa. The look of annoyance on Arian's face when Dunk wouldn't stay down. Exactly. I almost forgot that Sir Arlen Penetry was singing a Dothraki song in the flashback sequence. Also, his slaughtering gold cloaks one-handed was peak combat. That's dope. That was fucking. And the notion that those were gold cloaks is like fascinating. They're like, what the hell they're doing? Messing around with these kids. To go with that with the Rocky thing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say. I mean, to speak of the armor, all the fancy armor that all the high ups wore, it was there for fanciness. It wasn't there for combat. It was never meant to be there for combat. And, with the exception of maybe Prince Arian, his armor was definitely a much more solid armor. So when Dunk's armor was like fully built up and very plain and ordinary, but had the brutal, solidness behind it all to withstand a lot of the blows. That was a good advantage for him to have that, because otherwise, I mean, I honestly thought he died. I thought he was dead at one point. I thought, is this really it? It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so well good in the sense of it was so well shot that if you're sitting there just going, he ain't moving. He is like, his eye is open, he's down, and he's gone. I mean, it was just, it was good.
And you just feel no, please. You feel the dread of what's happening, even from the first few minutes.
Yeah.
And with that cold opening, I don't know how you feel, but like, to me, it was endearing very much to see like them talking about like, okay, this is what we can do. We got to do a game plan.
Yeah.
I'll handle the gold cloak because they won't strike anybody of royal blood. You guys take care of the rest. Don't die. Do this.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, a moment of like, don't worry, a false don't worry, because they're both petrified as hell. Dunk says, rob me and I'll chase you down, hunt you down with dogs, and then Egg going woof. Like, it was this thing of like I'll see you when we're done. And it's just like, how do you feel about that cold opening and the lead up to the charge? Because I was just like, fuck, man.
It was nice to see that Dunk can still forgive Egg, and Egg can feel that acceptance of that forgiveness for his not betrayal, but his his hiding who he was, kind of thing. And I like that little moment, because you got that little smile on Egg's face, which was just a moment there. Yeah, I'm at the moment between the nights. There was a great shot from an overhead shot looking straight down, which was a really nice shot. But if you, again, just looking at it in an artistic sense as well, you see the same overhead shot when you see the flashback of young Dunk and the girl, Rafe, was it? Yeah, Rafe.
I think that's her name. Yeah.
And you see a similar mirroring of shots going through that take place between the 2 points in time, which is kind of cool too. So, but yeah.
And kudos, we've been talking these past weeks about production design. This I think it was Tico said, like, saying Private Ryan, like, this feels like no man's land. Like, this feels like totally. People were watching, but it was just like the word, honor, balls, dignity, duty, everything was laid to waste in this mud.
Yeah.
And again, it was fascinating. I forgot who it was. Someone was I think it might have been the Real Rejects, where they're like, wow, people are gonna be looking back at this moment, because this episode really like affects Game of Thrones history in a big bad way. And you're like, wow, all this shit happened just because some royal prince couldn't handle a puppet show.
Yeah.
And we got to this moment because of a fucking puppet show. Someone felt so heartbroken, so threatened by a puppet show that it came to this. And I mean, I was worried because I was just like, oh no, where are we gonna go with this? And then it cuts to the flashback, and you're like, oh wow, we're spending time with young Dunk, which Now, having read the book, I don't think that was part of the book as far as my memory goes from the first story. That there's no flashbacks.
Yeah.
So that was designed for T, which I think
Oh,
was
okay. Oh, interesting. Okay.
which I think was a good distinction between show
Yeah.
and novel, both
Yeah.
going at very, very parallel ways. But I think the flashback was kind of cool
Yeah.
to see how, even at that young age, Dunk was so innocent and so caring
Yeah.
of just life in general,
Yeah.
and how even the person he loved was more had their boots to the ground, deep into the mud of the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know, how did you feel about the flashback? Because I thought that was very
Well, I mean,
fascinating.
I
And
shoot those kids. They look like they were like 14 years old at the oldest. Like they were really pretty young. So it was an innocent love of friendship. But Rafe, first the actress, I swear I'd seen her face before, and I had to look on IMDb later, and it turns out she was in Dune Prophecy, which, if you haven't seen, it's also a very
that's
good, I think,
right.
six part series. She was in that. She played. I wrote it down. Sister Lilla. And so it was just like, oh damn, yeah, okay. So I recognized the face, and yeah, she was phenomenal in that too. But and really awesome at this. So yeah, in the sense of their relationship, I believed it. I mean, I believe that there was this moment of like they're ready to run away, but I also, in the early stages of this very short little flashback scene, started to realize that she was the one that's going to end up by getting herself killed, because that's her energy, and it seemed like that was the direction it was going. I just didn't know at the moment in time how she was going to perish in this situation. But I do like that they developed that, and that you got this chance to see a little bit of Dunk, and especially how he met
So Ireland.
Arlen, yeah. And how they met, and again, another honorable kind of, Arlen didn't have to do that in this world of scum and villainy of elements. He didn't have to go out and just save somebody, and yet he
He was
did.
drunk.
Yeah, and he was drunk at the time too. And then he let Dunk follow him through the for however long he followed him before he dropped and fell, and it became a a lesson for Dunk too. Is like, you're not going to get something for free; you have to earn it. And he earned it, the respect of him for staying there, sticking with it, and not backing down. And that's very much the same kind of relationship you see with Egg as well, because
Yeah.
Egg would not step down. Egg would not back down from those first few episodes. So you saw a very big parallel between Dunk and Ireland, and Egg and
Duncan and
Dunk.
the persistence.
Yeah.
I love that
And
Rafe had this great line, because
Mm.
Dunk kept saying, like, what if my mom comes back? Like, I know she's dead, but what if she's just
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
make her way back? And I love
yeah,
Rafe was saying that, like, you want a family? Go out there and
yeah,
get one. And
yeah, yeah,
you could
yeah.
sense that by the end of this episode,
Mm.
regardless of what happens, the circumstances of events, in
Yeah,
essence, he did find family.
yeah.
He
Oh yeah.
he's mentoring now a little brother, almost maybe prodigal
Mhm.
son.
Yeah,
Um, he defended his new crush.
yeah.
He has his bully, his arch
Mm.
nemesis. So
Yeah.
Alan took him in as a surrogate father, regardless of how he treated him.
Mm.
And now, even with Balin Targaryen, he's found another father figure in him, or someone who
Right.
does
Yeah.
really believe and be like, okay, this dude's
Oh
actually
yeah.
about it. Okay, I rather put my money where my mouth is and go in and
Yeah.
be dutiful about that. And I love that the line goes like, you want a family, go out there and get one. And in essence, through
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
events, through these episodes, Dunk has found his family, and I know how much
Right.
this stuff is just
Yeah.
gonna stick with him. Lionel
Oh yeah.
is the crazy cousin. This was the crazy brother that he
Yeah.
never thought he
Yeah.
wanted. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you sense that
Yeah.
throughout it, and I love that, like, we keep cutting back, and the brutality between Aaron and Dunk going toe to toe. I won't show it because
Yeah.
I don't want to get demonetized about stuff. But like,
Yeah.
there's a
Well,
fascination.
for what actually? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say his shield is destroyed in the first round as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one
Or
thing
at
that
least
he
he
spent all
drops
this
it. He
time
just
trying
like,
to get, but
yeah.
it is fractured, it's cracked, it's broken. Yeah.
It was also fascinating to see how they would come back to Dunk watching this tourney and watching the crowd and even the high families looking about and being like, what the hell is going on? And I'll tell you, man, I got some Rocky vibes, like Tika was saying. Well, especially specifically for me, Creed. Both times when Dunk is knocked out and the point of view is in his helmet, and you see the dirt leaving as he gets up, or even when he's like with his eyes open and poor Egg was just screaming, "Get up, get up!" And then it cuts to what wakes him up. It's Sir Alan going, "Get up!" And it felt very. I put it on Twitter. It reminded me of. Have you seen Creed, right?
Yeah, a while ago. I don't remember the specifics, but yeah, it's been a while.
So there's a moment in the where Michael B. Jordan, Adonis Creed, he gets knocked out in the ring, and he's out, and it cuts to all these moments, the people who he cares about, his mom, his girlfriend, Rocky, and then he's still down, and the only thing that wakes him up, that gets him up, it cuts to some old footage of Apollo Creed of his dad. And like it's his dad in the ring fighting Rocky.
Yes.
And it cuts back to Don going, and that wakes him up. And I was like, I love. They must have watched Creed and were like, we should do that for fucking Game of Thrones. Like that'd be a cool thing to see. Dunk like the will is not himself. Subconsciously, is not letting himself die or just stay down all the time. And I don't know. By the end, it was brutal to watch because he's getting stabbed through his hand. He's getting stabbed again through his ribs.
Hit in the eye there, just everything. Yeah,
his eye, dude. It felt like a boxing fight because
the lance was the first one. The lance was the first one. That was just. Ooh. That was kind of like the one thing he was afraid of too, being pierced by. Was he saw the horse being pierced in the. It's just like being pierced by the lance was the very first fear he had. It's the very first thing that happened to him. Was the lance pierced into his body, and it's like, wow. And
it felt like a boxing fight because Aaron would like strike him, and then he would throw his sword. It would stick in his leg. Then Dunk would return the favor of like slicing, and then I think kill him in his artery right below his balls and shit.
Yes.
And then you even hear Aaron's father from afar screaming, "No, that's my boy," and they have to hold him back. It's like you guys wanted to go with this,
because I forgot he was in the fight. I forgot the helmet stuff there.
And I love that, like. Again, I think even people watching the show were suspecting, hoping that Dunk would kill Aaron. And there was something about him like standing up, getting the crowd behind him, saying up, up, up. You hear the escort lady, come on, in the middle of all the royal families. And Dunk gets the upper hand, strikes Aaron with his own shield, and then he sees Aaron saying, "I yield," and instantly I was like, don't let him go. Don't let him out of your sight. And he pulls him, drags him through the mud. Doesn't kill him. But demands him to tell the family, say it. He says, I withdraw my accusations. And then quickly tosses him. And it's like, I'm just waiting. Blow the horn, blow the horn. They blow the horn. And it's like, you won. I'm like, all right, everybody stop. Don't. And I love that even before he would make him say that he withdrew his accusations, he looked at everybody like, is everybody okay? Who's still alive? And just rushing to stop.
He's concerned to his fellow.
Which leads to when they pick him up, and he's like, "Did anybody die?" And I was just like, "That is as much as badass and as brutal as it was. That's Dunk." I like even at Dad's door, he's like, "Is everybody else okay?" And it's just like, I love that. How do you feel about it? You think it was because again, people were saying, "Oh man, I just wish that the show was longer." And sure, we all wish we got material, but like it was self-contained and was like enough. Nothing felt too dragged, too slow. It was perfectly.
The fact is they didn't. they didn't have to follow everybody else in the fight, and they didn't. This is Dunk's story, and I think they did that perfectly well. So when it came down to the reveals, I think it was the Humphreys that died first, they said, or something like that. You went through that process of of everything there, and I think the the real big one obviously is when Sir Baylor comes in as well, and it's just like he looks knocked around, but he seems to be he seems to be still standing. That's a good sign, and there was a great sense of honor and respect, especially the fact that Dunk would just get on his knee and just kneel and get that confirmation from Sir Baylor that I would want you to fight with me and serve me, and that sort of stuff was like, yes, that's great. And yeah, I think it was well rewarded and well worth up to those moments what we saw, to see that Dunk is probably going to pull through all this, even though he got really badly battered and bruised and cut and spliced and everything else. And that he's probably going to end up by being in a really good place just for that, up to those moments at least. So yeah.
I'll say this: you could tell the show worked and the episode worked because as soon as the episode dropped, people were already in mourning. People were already putting like they were cutting the clip of Bad Bunny when he won a Grammy like this, of like when favorite characters in Game of Thrones only last a season, or actually good people like don't make it out, and this, and like, dude, I'm telling you, there was something beautiful, and you can even see it in like Dunk's eyes. Is that like when he kneels, he's like, "I am your man, please, your man," and saying, "I will serve you." And Baylor being like, "I need good men," so Duncan, and like for the realm, you could tell like it was like, oh my gosh, right now everything in my body hurts, but that was worth it. That is why I want to be a knight. That's what Sir Arlen taught me. And dude, to think what's Dunk's friend Baron I forget his name.
I forgot his name. Yeah.
But to think that he immediately went to Rush and helped a hand. Like, can you remove my helmet? And he was talking trash about the Targaryens in episode 3. And it's just like, it shows so much of how much Baylor stands out and is I'm not gonna say he's a good man, but he's an honorable man who at the very least knows better. Or knows what's at stake than the majority of his family at this point that we've encountered. And dude, I felt it, when I heard it, when he took off the helmet, I was like, oh no. Yeah. And he turns around and you see his head is gouged in, and he falls. Yeah. And first time I saw it, I didn't notice it because I was just so in shock and sad.
Well, the moment he did this, put his hand to the back of his head, is like, oh shit, he took a massive blow. And
then also they say like, my brother struck me. He's really strong, and it's just like that also is another thing. And to me, what was heartbreaking is that when he's on the ground, Dunk is calling to him, please get up. The way Sir Alan called for him to get up, and the way Egg called Dunk to get up, and now he was calling Baylor to get up, and he wouldn't get up. And also, like, again, it's on Dunk's shoulder because he respects and cares for this man. And then you see Egg on his knees. And like you see how much Egg admired his uncle in that moment. Like, wow, like that this is the Targaryen I want to aspire to be.
He was the dragon, wasn't he?
Yeah. And again, it goes back to
that was the dragon. Yeah, the vision.
The vision of like you, and I was
Baylor was the dragon. Baylor was the dragon.
Fuck, man, I was just like, yo, that is like, fuck you. And again, I love. I haven't seen all of it, but like the inside of the episode, Ira Park is like, there's good in this world, but but it is Game of Thrones, so something tends to go bad at a cost. And I don't know, dude. I shout out to I think one of my favorite characters in all of Game of Thrones. Again, it's amazing what a season of television can do with a character, and how much impact the actor has. Bertie Carvel, who plays Baelor Targaryen. Shout out to Bertie Carvel, man. Like, he was an incredible addition to the world. And in my opinion, gives validation to why some people are Targaryen fans, and like, no, you don't just settle for what we've seen. There is some good in this family.
Oh yeah,
and
totally,
I don't know, man. How do you feel about Bertie Carvel and what he contributed to this show and the character of Baelor Targaryen?
He was fantastic. I mean, you know, for the couple of times that we saw him, he was very impactful as that character. But I think it's just purely a matter of just, you know, the way he held himself and stance and pronounced and even spoke differently than the other Targaryens. Like, really, you know, obviously the hair color is different, stuff like that, but he really did have he came across as the honorable one, and you know, in any scene that he was there in. So, you know, it was a moment. It was definitely a moment. And I'll be honest, it's like, you know, when he walked, as I said, up until he put his hand on the back of his head, I was like, oh shit, okay, so he's just, you know, he survived the battle. But that moment I was like, oh no, he's dead. He just has to remove the helmet, and that's it. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah. You know, I mean, the reality is it was bloody, you know, in the reference of any knights and you know, who had to go into war of any sort. It was extremely brutal and extremely bloody. And you're immersed within metal armor that can, you know, that there are, and I'm just going to historical elements, there are elements of knights and on the battlefield that have been found by you know, archaeologists, where you see that their head has been, you know, smashed in on the side and crushed and all that through the helmets and through the armor and so in the reference of how he played that moment in that condition was just really well played out. Yeah.
I don't know if he's on social media or not, but I really hope someone at HBO or marketing or publicity is conveying him, dude, you did good work. People fucking love your character, dude. Like even those who are hardcore Starks and hardcore Baratheons are showing their respect for you. Like every reaction I've seen, whether they're hardcore Stark fans, Baratheon fans, any of the houses, they're all showing their respect to this guy because, like, all right, this guy's a stand-up dude. And there was, again, it wasn't until the second, third time that it was hitting me that, like, oh God, this is gonna affect Dunk's life for the rest of his life. And not just his, but the realm. He was the hand. And so, like, imagine now who's gonna take over for the hand. Like, if he was this valor and dutiful, imagine who's gonna follow him up. Yeah, man, I still think I might prefer last week's episode personally, because the lead up to, especially the lead up to that ending is so good. Like that is ecstasy. But there's something about seeing great material on screen. You seeing connectivity with characters without an hour-long form, without 10 episodes, 8 episodes, 24 episodes. They're like, in a matter of time, you live a couple days with these characters and connect with them beyond what they wear and what name they carry with them. So I really dug that of these first 5 weeks with this show. Rocker Los Angeles 4184 says Thunder, yes indeed, Rip Baelor. Hey Ronan, how you doing, Cameron Walker? Yeah, man.
I was going to say, I mean, although we're still one episode away and I haven't, you know, I've got no knowledge about where this goes. In the reference of watching these shows week to week, I would have hated for them to have dropped. You know, I don't know, HBO don't do it anyway, but I would hate to have seen all 6 of these episodes in a row, because I am enjoying this moment of, I don't need to, you know, I got to wait for a week. I'm waiting for that pressure to, and letting for that moment of like, of thought, self-reflection on each of these episodes to settle in. And I'm glad that we're not getting this as a binge watch kind of a show. So for all the people who are going to sit there and wait till the show is finished and binge watch, I don't know. You're
Missing
missing
out on
out on you're
experience.
missing out on an experience. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You are missing out on an experience that the rest of us are sharing, which is like you do ponder throughout the course of the week on something that's well written and well developed, and you're going, what is, A, what's to come in the situation, and B, you really stop to understand the moment you were shown in this half an hour little story, once a
Yeah.
week. And that's a big, that's a big thing too, So, I mean, I am definitely going to rewatch the whole series once the final episode comes out next week. I'm going to sit and watch all 6 after that to reflect and see anything I missed out on that they may have, hinted to or alluded to earlier. I always enjoy doing
Yeah.
that. But for the first time experience, I always like to watch a show week by week. I really love that chance to do what we're doing right here, which is sit and talk about,
Mhm.
the experiences and everything like that too. So.
And I don't want to turn it to streaming wars, but like something I'm looking forward to in TV format is Spider Noir. And they announced that
Yes.
they're gonna drop all episodes at once. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
I was
guys,
so upset about that.
trust the
Yeah.
material. Like
Yeah.
trust that we will stick with it. Like
Yeah.
if a show that's from a well-known franchise is
Yeah.
willing to gamble 6
Yeah.
episodes of half an hour of a
Yeah.
story, and you have Spider-Man and you have
Yeah.
Nick Cage behind you and
Yeah.
you're Amazon,
Yeah.
don't don't bluff, don't slow roll up. Like you have
Yeah.
the backing, like don't be afraid of it. And
Yeah.
I don't know, hopefully someone out there could put pressure on Lord and Miller and anybody else of power and be like, yo, knock that shit off, man. Like even Star Wars at the bare minimum is doing for Maul as the 2 episode a week. I'm like, fine, you need
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
fine, 2 episodes a week, but enough for us to like
Yeah.
surround with this. That way these aren't characters that are just passing us by. No, we're living with them for over a month.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. You live with them for a couple of hours or, an 8-hour binge or whichever, then that's it. It's one day of the entire year and it's gone for 2 more years before you get to see part 2 or part 3 or part whatever. And when you get the chance to live with these shows for 8 weeks, then it lasts longer. The flavor lasts longer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you, as I said, you get the chance to communicate with everybody else. The moment everything drops straight away, it's like everyone talks about it for like a day, and then next thing. What's the next thing? And it is kind of sad. I really wish that the whole, I wish they wouldn't. Netflix are usually the worst. Is it Netflix usually the worst where they drop everything at once? No, wait. Yeah. They do tend to do that. It was they usually dropped everything at once. So it's like they're starting to learn though. They are starting to slow down on what they're dropping, immediately too. So.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I do like a week by week thing,
Water cooler talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's going to make me want to go back and watch earlier episodes again, later.
Speaking of water cooler talks, we have Jake joining us. Jake, how you doing, man?
What's up?
Hey, Jake.
That's a segue if I've ever heard one. I did find it funny how I got in here and then the first words I heard were Spider Noir. I was like, that was perfect timing.
Episode
Sorry
5.
for the lateness, guys.
No, it's okay.
That's cool.
Episode 5. How you feel?
Phew. I'll just say this. You can take the Game of Thrones out of the quirky spinoff, but you cannot take the quirky spinoff out of Game of Thrones. That's all I'll say. Like, you cannot remove the quirky from this IP. Loved how this episode you had the whole combat trial on one side, and you had the brutal as hell flashbacks on the other side. I was unsure how this episode was going to go, and while not my favorite of the series, still a damn good episode. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Just kind of my thoughts in a bubble.
Did you have a favorite moment from the episode?
Actually, I jotted down a few that I wanted to talk about, just from kind of a performance and character progression standpoint. When Dunk lunges at I forgot the character's name, and then just bites his ear.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Area.
I really like that moment from a progression standpoint because you see just over the course of honestly the last episode and this one, what it's done to Dunk's psyche and how he's just kind of not caring anymore, not giving a shit anymore, and has just kind of lost all sense of control and is giving into a little bit of those animal instincts. Doesn't really care about consequences anymore, and is just kind of at the end of his rope.
Do you think that might be a reflection of when he lost Rafe as well in that very moment?
I did think of that,
because he wasn't big enough to take on the guy who killed his slit throat.
And that might
he's big enough to take on this bully. That's
I think that was kind of a sense of reflection of us. Hey, I'm not going to let what happened to Rafe happen again. I really did like that moment as a nice payoff to what we saw in the flashbacks, and just overall, I think the flashbacks as a collective were my favorite parts of the episode.
Yeah, I agree too.
Nice. Yeah. I think the way he encounters Sir Alan is fascinating, and like all right, that tracks. Like Sir Alan was drunk and like still went out and defended the kid. And I think I told Brent that like I don't think those flashbacks are in the book. Like the first novel, it's not in the book and in the first novella, and I was like, that is like kudos on that, and like I hope that like it feels like I had George's blessing of like, no, this is probably how it went down.
Well, even then, because there are things that happened in the past, they might have been told in passing, but they likely weren't shown. So, I imagine that was the case too. I love the stuff we got from Rafe in this episode, especially.
Yeah.
And fucking, I said in my video, Dunk has a type.
I noticed that.
That was my first thought. He's gonna type.
Ansell and Rafe.
I was like, kudos to my dude. My dude was ahead of the game.
He knew what he wanted.
And before we start wrapping things up, I want to see. I'm not gonna say anything. I just say, what do you guys feel is how is it gonna wrap up? What do you want to see in next week's episode? And how are you feeling that now we're at the end is nigh?
I mean, I didn't watch the spoiler into all the
the next week on.
I haven't. I've kind of avoided those now. So knowing nothing going in, I hope. I don't know. It's. I just don't know how this is going to go down because I feel like Dunk is not going to be. I feel like he's won these victories, and I feel like that. He's not going to go head to head with the Targaryens at this point. Otherwise, they'd be dishonoring themselves if they went back on the yield. But then again, they're Targaryens, so you just don't know. And it's the world of Game of Thrones, as we've said, so you just don't know. I feel like there needs to be some sort of connection with Egg and Dunk about a conclusion to those characters. I don't know if Dunk is going to kind of let Egg continue to be his squire. I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know how that's going to play out. I would want that to happen, but I just don't see that happening because I feel like Egg has got this life that he has to go back to now, and his little play in fantasy world of getting away from his brothers and his uncle and this and that are kind of I don't know. I just don't know. It's set in mystery for me, and I'm actually enjoying that mystery. And so that's about all I've got to say on that.
Jake?
Well, I'm curious, how, from some broad points, how's the story going to wrap up? What more are they going to tease, I guess, for lack of a better term, about the world and where it's going beyond what we already know in the broad scope of things? Is there going to be any more fallout from what happened to Baelor that we saw in this episode? Is there going to be any more lasting effects from that? Because it was definitely a standout moment in the episode for me too. Where are our two leads going to end up at the end of this? I'm curious, and are they? Because I always talk, in all these streams that we've done about how much I value world building. What is their effect on the world going to be when all is said and done? That's what I'm curious about.
Good questions. Good questions. I am gonna keep my mouth fucking shut.
Yep.
And that, folks, is how you stick to NDAs.
Yep.
Rockers Los Angeles 4184 says good points. Weekly releases provide for much more simmering and post-immersive analysis. Also hearing other perspectives too. Yeah, we now know how and why Dunk follows Sir Alan. Anyone looking forward to Lionel's conversation with Dunk? Interesting point. Yeah, Lionel survived. So how is the Brad thing going to feel after all this, and where does that lead him and Sir Dunk?
Actually, I go back on one thing I say that there is a chance that Dunk will align with Lionel. Is a possibility in my head too.
It is a possibility, yeah.
So,
to what they said before about the whole weekly releases thing, that's what I think a show like this and other shows benefited from, because that keeps the conversation going for 5, 6, 7, 8 more weeks, however long your series is.
Yeah.
And instead of just dropping it all at once, and while it might be good to just binge all the way through, it keeps people talking about it for longer, that week by week slow burn. So, and while I think it's good to, maybe reabsorb the series on a rewatch through just a straight binge, because you have it all at once.
Which I will be doing.
Yeah, it is good to do that, but especially one like this, that slow burn really helped it.
Yeah. I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Bad folks, we're gonna be wrapping things up for this stream. It is sad we're getting towards the end. Tomorrow, next week we'll have the finale stream. And then hopefully afterwards we'll have a season stream that will have more people involved. Because I know we have other friends who watch the show. But I really effing love this show, and I can't wait to be able to get either an exact replica or get a close to replica of like Duncan's shield, and like
nice.
And like I can't wait to continue reading the book, because again I paused on it to be like, no, let me just sit with this story, say goodbye to it, and then start the next one, because I am not waiting 2 years or whenever the hell season 2 comes out.
Is it gonna sit above your comic box up there?
No, hell, even by then I'll probably reshuffle all this, because again I could see, here's a little small, not even Game of Thrones, just a Knight of Seven Kingdoms corner. Here's the Noir corner and all this stuff. But it'll probably be there.
Yeah.
I even want to get the graphic novels to see how they adapted the novels into a comic book form.
Yeah, you can't see it, but over here I have a mix of both fiction and nonfiction novels, and I am definitely wanting to add, because I listened to the first book in audio form and I read it on ebook. I'm trying to get a physical copy of it so I can add it to that shelf.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh yeah. I haven't read past that first book, but it's really good.
Yeah. Muchachos, thank you so much for taking the time out of your night to join me. You guys know the rules. We go around the corner. Everybody shout out your channels, let people know where they can find you, and promote anything you want to promote. Let's start with Jacob.
Okay. Lost Levels on Sundays. We had to go back to our mystery game, which wasn't a mystery for anybody who saw it, but I had to go back to that just because I wasn't able to stream from the PlayStation again. I'm trying to get as many uploads out there as I can with some life changes I'm going through at the moment. Uploads are kind of sporadic, but I'm getting them out there when I can. Some changes will likely be happening soon. I'll fill you guys in more on that when it happens. Anybody on here who watches my stuff. And Lost Levels on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Nice. Brent?
You can catch me on Brent Age of Grogu or Age of Grogu. Over the weekend I just dropped 2 reactions, or should I say re-reactions to One Piece Season 1. I'm doing 2 episodes a weekend between now and the end of the month when Season 2 drops, and I'll be reacting to Season 2. I just wanted to go through and do some re-reactions and see if that show lived up to the hype when I first watched it, and so far it's just as enjoyable now as it was 3 years ago when it first came out. And then tomorrow I'm going to be doing a trailer drop reaction to Mandalorian and Grogu as well, which is going to drop their next trailer. I don't know if this is going to be a final trailer because usually they don't seem to end it, but there'll be a big trailer drop tomorrow, so I'm going to be reacting to that. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah. There's likely going to be another trailer to announce tickets, I assume.
Yeah,
I'm
like in
gonna
April.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually are. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably be doing, I don't do many reactions, but I'll probably do one to that also.
Yeah.
Rocker Los Angeles, good insights here. Thank you, sirs. Next time. Yeah, tune in, subscribe to the channel, let people know if they're Game of Thrones fans, hardcore or not, book readers or not, to come hang out with us every week when we talk about this show. Mañana as well, you can expect a reaction from me of Mandalorian and Grogu, and I am doing a Road to the Mandalorian and Grogu series of rewatching the show again.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
you never know if we can map it out right. Maybe these gentlemen might join me in the following seasons. But you'll be seeing that coverage pretty soon. As soon as I wrap up A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, that's my main thing.
And I'll say this: I already like this series more than House of the Dragon.
Yeah, so do I. And I really like House of the Dragon.
I really like season 1 of House of the Dragon.
Same season 1. I really like
season. Yeah, I put this on par with it in totally different levels and different reasons and styles.
Yes,
but then I haven't rewatched.
I still like season 2. I'm just not as crazy on it.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I mean, I haven't gone back and rewatched season 1 though for a while, so I need to kind of I do like to take a period of time on my shows where I'll watch it, and I'm either going to rewatch it straight away and binge watch it, or I'm going to wait for a year or just before the new season comes to rewatch it and reinvest. Did I really enjoy this? Was this all in my head? Was I just participating in the moment, or was it just as good as I remembered it? And I love doing that kind of rewatching for that reason kind of thing. So
I think Cameron says, Ron, have you seen the Lances logo reveal? Yes, it is very, very echoish of True Detective with the slight
didn't
green.
See it. I'll have to check it. I've been working with this. So
yeah. It's a lot better than the original one that came out like a month ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can instantly, I think, feel the tone a little bit of what they're going to go for with this show.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll be for this night's stream, y'all. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. Subscribe to everybody's channels. Hit the like button. Comment in the section below. Let people know that we're doing this. And we'll see you next week for the finale, and then maybe later on for a season review. So until then, take care, everybody.